Today, we're talking about the power of patience in sales. Have you ever been in a situation where you were talking to a prospect that you really believed you could help? You knew that you had a solution to the problem that they were experiencing, and you're engaged in the sales process. You're like, this would be a fantastic client for our business, and you rush the sales process, or you feel yourself forcing things, and you end up losing a sale where you know that you could have helped this person. And it's so crushing because not only do you lose out on that potential revenue and money, but you also lose out on the ability to really help a person who needed you. That's what happens when you don't practice patience in sales, when you rush the sales process, and that's what this video is going to help you with. Hey there, I'm Eleanor Beaton. I'm the founder of Safi Media. We are a coaching and education company on a mission to double the number of women entrepreneurs who sustainably scale past $1 million in annual revenue by 2030. And our unique specialty is helping women service providers and consultants scale from 200K to 2 million plus. I have personally advised over 700 women entrepreneurs, and we recently worked with a group of 22 women founders, helping them grow month-over-month sales by 579% to generate 1.09 million in sales in a 30-day period. If you want to get your hands on the case study, what we did, how we did it, definitely check out the description to get all of the details. It's totally free. So when it comes to getting more yeses on your sales calls, more yeses on the proposals that you submit, I have a very counterintuitive but important reminder for you. And this is for you whether you are an entrepreneur actively making offers and selling your stuff, or you are leading a sales team who is doing that on your behalf. The key thing you need to do to get more yeses is to practice patience and to slow down the selling process so that your prospects stop experiencing pressure and start experiencing constructive tension. In sales, we call this the art of the lean back, and your ability to master the art of the lean back can really help you increase sales conversion, get more yeses, get less buyer remorse, fewer refunds, and really ensure that your selling process calls in the exact right customers for your business, allowing you to scale with stability, sustainability, consistency, and quite frankly, joy. Now, I can remember a sales mentor of mine, Lisa Sasevich, back in the day, talking a lot about the difference between pressure and tension. Pressure comes from an outside source. So if I am like pressuring you to make a decision or pressuring you to do X when you really want to do Y, that is, you're feeling pressure coming from the outside. It's like there's an outside force that's moving you to take a certain action. That's pressure. Tension is quite different, and tension comes from inside a person. Maybe you have experienced tension when you had two really good options in front of you, and you knew you'd been putting off making a decision between the two different options, but you knew now was the time you had to make a decision. It was really important. It's now or never. And you're feeling this tension inside you where you understand it's time and you understand you need to cut off one option and go with another. That is tension. And particularly in selling, we call this constructive tension. So in a selling process, you never want to apply pressure. And pressure often is the result of an inexperienced or unskilled salesperson trying to rush the process versus tension, which happens when a skillful salesperson creates a safe and solid container inside which a really great process of asking great questions, of understanding needs, of presenting a solution and making a great offer. Inside that skillful process, that's where your prospect is going to have to walk through the tension of making a decision. All right. So pressure is applied from the outside, and tension is sort of emerges inside the heart and mind of a prospect who needs to make a decision. Now, if you are selling B2C and you are closing sales on a call, that tension is probably going to be experienced in that one conversation. When you sell B2B, that tension is actually going to be experienced over a number of different engagements in the selling process. When you sell B2B, you don't close in a call typically. Generally what happens is this is going to be a process, and the process of that tension, should we or shouldn't we, will we or won't we, is going to be experienced over a number of different engagements. But the rule stays the same. Pressure gets applied from the outside, tension is applied from the inside. You want your selling process to create tension so that a person is making a decision from within themselves, not feeling pressured like you're rushing them. One of the most powerful ways that you can increase your conversions, get more yeses, and get more yeses, particularly from the right kind of people, because that's what you want. You don't want yeses from the wrong types of clients. You want yeses from the right types of clients, your ideal clients, the clients that you love working with, the clients who make all of your best, testimonials and case studies. Now, let me kind of explain what the lean back is by basically telling you what it isn't. A couple years ago, a connection of mine, I knew him from different sort of volunteer work that I did. He started a new business and he wanted to meet with me to talk about collaboration opportunities. So I take the meeting with him. I didn't have much time, but he was a friend. He'd been helpful in the past. So I wanted to do him a solid and see how I might be able to support him. And so we have 30 seconds of hello, how are you? You know how it goes. And then all of a sudden he's sharing his screen and he's walking me through a sales presentation. And it takes me 3 or 4 minutes to realize, oh my gosh, he's doing a sales presentation right now for his new business. He actually wants me to buy from him. And so I said, listen, let's say his name was Frank. It wasn't, but I was like, Frank, I'm just going to pause you right there. I have zero interest in buying this right now. That actually wasn't what I thought this meeting was. I thought this meeting was about how we can support each other. I am not interested in buying what you have to sell. I love, that you're proactively cultivating your pipeline. I'm happy to support you however I can, but I'm just going to pause you. I am not interested in this solution. So in that moment, Frank committed a number of egregious sales errors. Number one, and the big one, was that he rushed the process. And the way that he rushed the process is that he didn't get my permission to make him an offer. And I'd say this is probably one of the most effective things you can do to slow down your selling process, is to be checking for permission during the selling process that it is okay to make an offer. What do you mean by that, Eleanor? Why ask for permission to sell to people? Absolutely. So a better way to handle a meeting like that would have been first to, ask a little bit about the kind of work that I was doing. Because remember, he asked for a collaboration meeting. Maybe ask a little bit about the kinds of prospects that I was looking for and how he might recommend them. And then he might say, based on my new business, here's what I'm up to. I'd love the chance to kind of tell you a little bit about what I'm doing and see, hey, maybe this is a fit for you. That's permission number one. Okay. So then what a great salesperson would do, they would never open up their pitch deck right away because that's rushing the sales process and putting pressure. What they would have done is ask me a number of questions to kind of get some insights about me with respect to his offer. And then based on that, say, look, based on what you've shared with me, I have a couple of, tools here that I think could be really beneficial to you. Would you like me to go through them? Again, permission asked number 2, right? So he is slowing down the sales process by asking permission. Then he might share some of those tools. And then he might say, Eleanor, you could take these tools and work with them on your own for sure. But I could also really help you implement them to get faster results. If there were a way to do that, would you be interested in hearing about that? permission number 3. He basically, within 2 minutes of getting on a call, he was pitching me with his sales deck. In the scenario that I just outlined, he is slowing down that sales process, asking permission a number of times. And when you ask permission, you lean back. Would you like me to share this with you? And then you as the prospect have to lean in. Yeah, I'd love that. That's the art of the lean back. The lean back is really expressed through asking for permission, doing what we call heat checks or temperature checks. Is this person interested? Right? Because are they interested? Have I asked them if they'd like to learn more? That slows down the selling process. It exhibits a lot more patience, and it allows you to lean back so your prospect can lean in. And that is how you create an effective selling container where your prospect experiences not pressure of you trying to force things or rush things, but tension, where they along the way are asking themselves, am I interested in this? Yeah, I am. And so they take the next step. What about now? Are you still interested in this? Yeah, I am. And they take the next step. What this does is it creates micro commitments throughout your selling process. Your prospect continuously gets to ask themselves, am I interested? Would I like to hear more? And you give them a ton of off-ramps. So you can see how you're never applying pressure, but you are creating with each commitment, yes, I would like to hear more. Yes, I would like to hear more. You actually allow your prospect to sort of create a little bit of tension within themselves in which they know they're getting more information and they're arriving at a time where they want to make a decision. In an effective selling process, what a salesperson is committed to is simply getting a decision. It's not whether it's a yes or a no. I can remember hearing a great sort of idea for sales, which is maybe yes, maybe no, there's someone waiting, gotta go. Right? So you're never committed to having the person in front of you say yes. What you're committed to is creating a really great structure inside which your prospect can make micro commitments, and you get them to make micro commitments or not by continuously checking in. Would you like to hear about this? If I could show you a way to address this, would you like to hear about it? And along the way, what you are doing is slowing down the selling process, allowing your prospect to keep pace with you, allowing them to sort of ease into the selling process and be with you in the selling process and make a great decision for themselves. This is the art of the lean back. This is the art of practicing great patience in sales. You know, a few years ago, I heard this unforgettable story from a Japanese swordsman. These swordsmen and kind of a junior swordsman were watching a group of Japanese swordspeople, I guess, practicing their art form, practicing their martial art. And they noticed that the newer swordspeople, the younger people, their movements were rapid and jerky and messy, and they were kind of out of breath. Meanwhile, the master swordspeople moved with grace and elegance. They never seemed to be out of breath. There was much more economy of movement. And this master swordsman said, the amateur is always in a rush, but the master never hurries. So I hope in this video, I've really opened your awareness to how you can increase your sales conversion, create a more effective and constructive selling process by mastering the art of the lean back to practice more patience and thereby increase your sales conversion of the right prospects for you. There are a lot of different tools and tactics that you can use to sell, whether it's a B2C type of sale or a B2B type of sale. And we call this your sales DNA. So every person is going to have different strengths when it comes to selling. If you'd like to uncover your unique selling DNA, just head to the link in the description where I direct you to your sales DNA quiz. It's a short quiz. It'll take you about 5 minutes and you'll get a full report on what your sales DNA is and effective selling strategies for you. But remember, in all of those selling strategies, it doesn't matter what your sales DNA is, you always want to practice patience in the selling process. If you would like us to audit your existing sales process and see if there are opportunities to increase conversion with a couple of best practices, go ahead and click the link in the description to book a growth audit with our team. It's a 15-minute audit where we can really get in there, take a quick peek at your sales process, and see if there are things that we can do to help you improve it. The link is in the description. Don't hesitate to subscribe to this channel. Definitely set yourself up to get notifications. And if you have selling tips or questions about this video, please go ahead and post in the comments. I'd love to check them out.